everyone! So today's video is inspired by a couple different conversations I've been a part of and seen online recently. One of them was a Twitter conversation kind of talking about getting more women into gaming and specifically running games, and then also on the Absolute Tabletop group and RPG Brigade, there were some other conversations along the same lines of encouraging new folks to try out GMing. I made a couple comments, all kind of along the same lines, and I wanted to share my thoughts here with you guys. The basic comment that I had is, if you're talking to somebody trying to encourage them to try out GMing, and they seem hesitant, one thing that you can do is ask them, what's stopping you? What's deterring you from trying this out? And then listen to them, and it might be a situation of you ask and they say, I'm just not interested in GMing. I just want to play. Totally fine. And at that point you can say, okay, great, awesome. If you ever change your mind, let me know. I'd love to play the game, or I'd love to help you out. Now, they might have a reason why they aren't interested in GMing or why they can't GM that you can't really help them with. Like, one thing that I thought of is they just might not have the time. There is a good amount of time that can go into GMing outside of just playing the session, but all of the planning and stuff like that, you can't really give them more hours in the day. And, you know, that's a situation where at least now you understand why they aren't interested, and you can drop it or let them know, like if they aren't interested, just flat out, they just want to be a player, just let them know, if that ever changes, let me know, I'd love to play. Now, there are a few things I've thought of that you might be able to help them with. If it's a resources situation of, I don't have the books to run the game, you might have them and be able to lend them to them at least for the first little bit. You might be able to see if you can get them from the library, or you might be able to steer them towards a system that offers free rules online, or just use like the basic starter set or something like that. Another thing that might be deterring somebody from trying out being a GM is they're worried about creating their own campaign. Well, point them in a direction of a good published campaign. Like, I got my start GMing using the starter set. Ryan got it for me for my birthday and told me he had organized everything, when people were coming over, and all of that stuff. So one, I didn't have to do the coordinating schedules of trying to get everybody together, which that's another thing that might be preventing somebody and you could offer to help with. And two, I didn't have to come up with an entire campaign. It gave me, okay, here are all the steps, here's the stuff to go through, and then there was stuff I could add in. And also because it was the starter set, it was a little bit more basic rules. It was a little pared down, so it wasn't so much. Now, like specifically for online games, you can encourage people that they don't have to live stream the game. I know that's something that, like, I would be really nervous about live streaming, especially if it was my first time GMing a game, because not only do I have to worry about, like, how is all of the players actually enjoying this, but, like, there are complete strangers that could be watching this, and that's a lot of pressure. You know, if you're trying to encourage somebody to GM, whether it's you think that they would they're an amazing storyteller and you would love whatever stories they came up with, or even if it's like, hey, I'm the person who always GMs and I would love to just play and I want to ask a couple people in our group if they want to take a turn GMing. Asking them, or if you're the person kind of like, I kind of want to GM, but I keep steering away from it, ask yourself, what's holding me back? And then figure out if there are ways that you can get rid of those obstacles. Because that's really kind of, I think, what it gets down to is either helping yourself or helping somebody else get rid of the obstacles so that it's a little bit easier to get into GMing. For me, like running the campaign that I'm currently running, part of the obstacle was I had an idea, I wasn't sure exactly how to execute it, so I started talking to people, bouncing ideas off of them, because I knew as soon as I got that thing that kind of sparked it, I'd be great. But my obstacle was how do I mechanically make this make sense? So yeah, and sometimes it's going online and asking complete strangers to give you advice. This advice goes for, all other aspects of life. If there's something that you want to do, but you keep putting it off. You keep saying, not now, not today. Sit down and figure out what are the obstacles that are keeping me from saying yes and actually being able to do this. And on that note, I want to let you guys know that I am going to be attempting NaNoWriMo this year. So if you're also doing NaNoWriMo, let me know what your usernames are down below and become friends and cheer each other on user boards and stuff like that. If you've got any advice for any new GMs out there, let's leave them down in the comments along with NaNoWriMo stuff. Woo! NaNoWriMo, NaNoWriMo, however you say it. It's fine with me. So on that note, we'll wrap it up. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you next time on Roll for Initiative. Bye!